I pretty much put everything on strings. In my opinion, there's just not enough stuff on strings in the world. If it can be strung, I string it. Because here's the thing, you see all these leaves, if you go to just throwing stuff down, it's not long until you lose something. But if I can do that and then work with something else, I can tuck it. Another thing that I'm fond of doing is I'll get a belt like this, and I'll just put one end through, and then I'll go through this hole and pull, and I just created a lanyard, and then I'll stick it in my pocket. So if I roll over or I'm climbing up a cliff and it falls out, I've still got retention. Basically what I've got is a water filter. This is a knife and a saw that is just paperweight. I've got a compass that's taped up. I'll break it out only if I have to, and a magnesium block that will correspond with this metal striker that's also taped up. This is stuff I don't plan on using, but it's kind of the backup to the backup to do core essential skills. So there's that. I've got some water purification pills. I never really use them, but they're there. And back to the filter. Okay, you with filters. Tonight when you go to bed, you need to take this filter and you need to put it close to your body. Once you have used these filters and they're wet and you freeze them, it expands and cracks, and that 0.1 micron opening just became a gaping hole, and cryptosporidium and giardia are coming for you. So it's not effective after they take a freeze. It's a good idea to do that with your canteens too. Your water, just bring it all in close to your body. And this one I just wrapped. See, I made a little tab here, and I just wrapped tape in this little section in between, and I can unroll that tape when I need it to use for bandages or anything. That duct tape's awesome for closing a wound. Just hair and all, it'll close it. So there's that. Just your basic little small lightweight Bic. Bics are the AK-47 of lighters. I've used them in Alaska, had them with water. You dry them out like this, just spin that wheel on your clothes. I've taken them right out of the river and done that, and then make a fire. The flints in here are longer than what you need, so even when it runs out of fluid, you still get a sparker. So why not have one?
Going back to the water filter for a moment, that's the little Sawyer?
It's a Sawyer Mini. It's one of many out there, but it works. I carry for a flashlight just this little pen light. It's made by Streamlight. It's got the tail cap. I like it because you can strobe them. If I need to signal to somebody, I can just hit that, and you can see a white light for a long way. Also, because of that clip, you just fit it in the pocket, hold my teeth, do heart surgery. You know, it's not cumbersome. 1 or 2 AAAs? It has 2, and I usually keep extra set of the lithium because they perform in cold weather. Get the Energizer lithium. And I don't really try not to use a flashlight much, but if you have to. And then it's not a bad idea to have some writing implement and a pencil. If you're doing land navigation, making maps, you need things that are noteworthy. You know, you've got a way to record that if you get into that type of deal. And that's pretty much the extent. Now, rations. I do have some. Basically, like I said, you want simple carbohydrates for wintertime, and these MRE crackers are just, they don't really weigh anything significant. They take up very little room, and that's a day. That's 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. 5 days. I'm not dependent on a fire or cooking anything, and I can make it on that if I'm well hydrated.
How many do you have there?
5.
Okay, 1 a day.
If you want to get into more gourmet or heavier stuff, and I mainly put this stuff in case the kids are with me, that granola with milk and blueberries, you just pour cold water on it and hand it to them with a stick or a spoon or something, and they're happy. And you don't have to cook it. And then just those are lightweight, but it does take water. You don't always have to heat them. Sometimes I'll pour water in, stick it in my pocket, and walk for a couple hours, and then just let body heat and water do it for you. So there's some rations, and that's kind of the kit. And so our needs are met, right? We got water, we got shelter, we got fire, and we got food. It's all met out of this small kit.
Back to the emergency bivvy. That's not just a one use?
No, like I said, our buddy Gary, he's up in the teens, I think 17 nights. He spent out, and he says it's showing no significant wear.
Cool.
It's still running. He's a little lean guy though. One thing with me, with my shoulder breadth, when I get in here and I barely shoehorn into that thing and get it sealed up, when I turn over, that thing is with me, you know. Yeah. It's kind of shrunk wrap on there.
But that's good for retaining heat too.
Well, yeah, it's not bad. So there's that, and then just your standard toilet paper in another Ziploc bag. I don't use toilet paper much there. Again, that's kids and wife, and if they happen to be along for the ride, and they usually don't have a kit with them, I'll take care of them in the woods. This little radio doesn't weigh much at all, and it's a world transceiver. I got it for like $2 at a flea market. And it's also AAA, so those batteries will cross level to all my kit. But you can just kind of stay abreast of news, like those days when you're stranded in Atlanta on the side of the road last year. They could at least listen to some tunes, you know, something groovy. Not that they didn't have their cars, but a lot of people ran out of gas and had dead batteries and stuff. And me, tactically, I would not be in there in Atlanta. I would have went to the tree line. I would have not stayed in my car. Honestly, I would have been camping in something like that really thick, just to be away from the people problems that can happen after 3 days. People start lurking around hungry, come pawing at your window like Yogi the Bear. Hey man, you got granola in there? You know, I don't want that problem.